Kia ora, it minions. Welcome back to our channel. I won the set 7 championships yesterday and I got those prizes. Quite nice. Today I'm gonna talk about my deck and some mechanisms and deck tech. Let's get to it. Alright, let's talk about the turn 1 drops. This time I choose those 3 type of cards: Shadow Forwards and Diablo, then Magic Broom. This deck doesn't need to challenge to the other character in turn 2 or turn 3. I only use Lumiere for turn 2 drops, so there's no other cards. Sometimes I play Shadow Forwards or Magic Broom on turn 2, but otherwise the Lumiere is my only card for turn 2 drops. Simply, Lumiere is one of the core cards. He gives other characters get +1 strength, and it's simply powerful. You really don't have to quest with Lumiere until you have 100% safety chances. Consider Lumiere as a living item. Keep him stunned, ready, and try not to quest with him. The second thing is, I choose 3 different types of turn 1 drops, and most of them are powerless, especially the Magic Broom. For instance, if the Cinderella just exalted, the Magic Broom usually cannot take it down. However, if you play Lumiere on turn 2, you can easily take them down. This archetype is always poking the opponent when they play something miss or when they didn't play well. You can strike them back by using this Lumiere or the other card. So just remember, Magic Broom is most likely. I like to drop turn 1 Magic Broom all the time. Whatever the opponent are, that's my go-to card on first turn. And the second one is Diablo. It's because Diablo is invincible. You really don't have to worry about him. Just exalt him whenever you can. So that's why Diablo is my second choice. Shadow Forwards, otherwise because he's a bit unstable. You really have to quest to banish him, and his stats is not so powerful. Of course, he can take down 3 willpower characters. However, it's rarely happen. So that's why I only put 2, but also try to move smoothly. In the earlier stages, I also need another 2 cards, so that's why I choose Shadow Forwards. So I'm going to talk about the turn 3 characters. I choose these 3 cards: Peter Pan, Madame Mim, and Marin. You guys knew all of these cards, so I'm not going to go further, but simply, Peter Pan is the core of this deck. The reason people called it evasive deck is because Peter Pan giving another evasive characters dash ability. Madame Mim Fox, needless to say, you saw her countless times when you're facing Amethyst. If you have another character, she just become 4/3 fearless rush character. However, you need to play another character before you play Madame Mim. So that's why I use her in any stages in earlier game when they exalt character, powerless characters, or play Madame Mim when I need to bounce back my powerful characters. Marine Crab always combine with Diablo, so that you can take down opponents system characters or earlier stages characters without lose nothing. Diablo provide you additional cards, so this is also go-to combo. These 2 action cards are also available on turn 3. Frenzy on the other side, if you have the chance, you just draw additional card to strike back to the opponent. And also the Brawl is one of the most useful cards in turn 3. So usually the target is Ariel, Rabbit, or Genie. Those 3 cards. But sometimes if you have the time and if you consider the opponent characters dangerous, such as Diablo or Rooster, Deceiver of all, you have to keep this card to take them down. The reason I only put 3 of those is because Star Championship, you cannot see all the deck which are coming to you. So my anticipation was a lot of the Steel Songs, but yet I cannot fully put those cards because when you're facing Ruby Sapphire or Amethyst Steel, this card is not so effective. So that's the reason I only put 3. That's also same reason I only choose 3 sets of Madame Mim and Marine Crab. Those characters are so powerful and always effective. However, I want to make another slots for the new cards. So that's the reason I only choose 3 of them, and with Lumiere backup, I thought 3 were enough, and I was right about that. And these are my turn for drops, 3 Yego and playset of Genie. Needless to say, they got rushed when you play the Peter Pan. Especially Iago has huge body, so he can take down most of the characters and able to survive at least a couple another turns. I only put 3 of those because I anticipated Steel Song, and against the Steel Song, Iago is helpless. He just punished when they targeting this character with an actions. That's why I only choose 3 of Iagos. On the contrary, I choose Jin as a playset. He's uninkable, but as all of you know that he could provide additional roars and he's evasive of course, then you can gain another card. He's most reliable card on turn 4, so that's why I play full sets. Before I talk about turn 5 drop, I'm gonna add another card in this team. Maui Shark. Of course I put 4 of them as a playset. This deck was designed with evasive characters, and Maui has evasive, so why not? That's the first point. And also, in the previous season, I was actually suffered from these Maui Sharks when opponents play those cards. But now you can play those cards with some backups, and this deck, for now, this deck is the most likely the best deck to use Maui Shark. Reason is, simply, usually when we play Maui Shark, they rarely exalt their characters unless it's necessary. Most of the matchups, especially the mirror matchup, everything gonna be stand still. To break that silence, I'm gonna use Elsa. I also put Elsa as a playset. Elsa simply exalts the opponent character so that Shaq can challenge those characters. And this combination is surprisingly powerful. And for now, like, there's no many ways to prevent it unless they play the ward characters. So Maui and Elsa's combination is the best combination in this deck. Okay, let's talk about the actions. As I already described before, turn 3, we have friends on the other side and the bow. Other choice of the actions are Finders Keepers, A Pirate's Life, and Be Prepared. You can reuse those cards when you challenge with Maui to the opponent characters. And simply, most of those cards are quite powerful, especially the Founders Keepers, and provide you additional cards again and again. Sometimes you choose friends on the other side, because you already have the 3 or more inkable or uninkable characters on the field to think this card. A Pirate's Life is actually the finish card, and also can save you from losing the game. I play these cards many times to reach to the 20 roar. Simply, A Pirate's Life is one of the most powerful and common cards in Lorcana. As you know, Ruby Amethyst always striking back to the opponent, and when it's not enough, that's the time you should play Be Prepared. But after you sweep the board, you always play Maui Shark to use that again, so that they will suppress, they will suffer, and they are not easy to get back to the field. What I want to say is, like, a Maui Shark is another core card in this deck, so he can reuse those 5 different types of actions to reach you to the win. And most of the time, I choose friends on the other side to draw additional cards, or Finders Keepers if I have it in the discard pile. The other card I use the most or reuse the most is A Pirate's Life. Simply try to reach 20 roars and try to let your opponent away from winning condition. Let's talk about the location. I choose the Queen's Castle instead of the Rivalry, and there are huge differences. So as you know, the Rivalry is 3 inkable cost, so you can play that card on turn 3 in earlier stages. And it will simply provide you additional cards when your character banished when they are in that location. On the other hand, the Queen's Castle only provides you cards when your card in the location and stay, so you have to keep those characters most likely in ready condition, or most of your characters should have evasive to avoid the challenges from the opponent characters. So that's why, as you know, most of my characters on the later stages are evasive. They have evasive. So that's why the Queen's Castle is like best buddy. The Queen's Castle have cons. It's because Rivalry has 8 willpower. However, the Queen's Castle only have 7 willpower. Those 1 stats make a huge difference. For instance, Maui Shark has 7 power, so he can take down the Queen's Castle without looking at it. And then, Rivalry has 8 willpower, so it can survive at least 1 challenges. As you can see, the Queen's Castle is a little bit fragile than the Rivalry, so you have to play it in the quite right timing. The other thing is, The Queen's Castle also provides you 2 roars per turn. That means when you play the Queen's Castle and taking down the characters, the opponent characters, you can easy to reach to 20 roar without questing. So some may say the Queen's Castle is purple Macduck Manor, and you are quite right about that. To banish the opponent's characters, I put 2 sets of Maui. As you know, the Maui is one of the most strongest character on turn 5. He doesn't have the evasive, yes, but he can take out at least 2 or more characters during the play. And that's why I put Maui to remove the character of opponents and also to take down opponent locations. How do I take down the Queen's Castle with Maui? Simply the answer is this. I add Lumiere and play Maui, so I can fight against the Queen's Castle. Now I'm going to talk about why the Lumiere on turn 2 and why it's so effective. As I talked before, Lumiere is a core card. He's a living weapon. If your opponents never faced Lumiere before, they will underestimate your turn 1 drops, which are Magic Boom or Diablo. But with Lumiere, actually you can take down the opponent Magic Boom or Diablo just because of him. And with additional support such as Marine Crab, you can actually take down Daisy by challenging with Diablo. So turn 1 Diablo, turn 2 Lumiere, and turn 3 Marine. Now you can take down Daisy Duck on turn 3 without losing anything. Lumiere also can lift up those evasive characters such as Peter Pan and Genie and Alpha. The reason not so many people using these evasive cards are they are kind of powerless. They only have 2 strengths, so usually they become the target of brawl. But with Lumiere, they cannot use it. It's because Peter Pan lift up to 3 strengths, Genie also has 3 strengths, then Elsa has 3 strengths. Imagine that. If that is a mirror matchup, if you control Lumiere and they don't, you can take down their Peter Pan without looking at it. Genie, Elsa, Peter Pan, any of your evasive character can take down Peter Pan, and they cannot use a brawl to your evasive characters. Imagine that. That's such a powerful combination. Against Ruby Sapphire deck, when they play Sisu and Power Sibling, they can only take down Lumiere. It's because all the other characters are amplified. Their strengths have been enhanced up to 3. So that's the reason I put Lumiere to avoid board sweep from Sisu, giving another 1 strength on the board. It's such a powerful ability. And this combination, Iago always has a big stats, but he couldn't take down any Mauis before. But with Lumiere, he can fight back against any type of Maui, Hero to All, or Maui Shark. When they underestimate Iago and exert those Maui or Maui Shark, you just play Lumiere from your hand and take them down. That's that simple. So about the location, actually what type of the location you are using in this archetype make a huge difference. The Queen's Castle, as I already described before, provide you additional 2 roars. The Queen's Castle is purple Macduck Manor, so you need to protect it, but also you have to use it in efficient ways. Usually, if you play the rivalry, those turn 1 drops are the best body for your rivalry. It's because they are reliable and they are easy to banish and they are low cost. But about the Queen's Castle, most of the time, the characters you want to put in the Queen's Castle are evasive. It's because they usually survive in the late game if you are not challenging or questing, and also the Peter Pan and Lumiere, you really don't have to exert those characters. So keep them alive and put them in the Queen's Castle as the ones deck. So most of the time, you play those cards to remove the opponent characters. And remember, the Ruby Amethyst is a control deck. It's not so aggressive against the aggro deck, but you have to be aggressive against the control deck, so need to be change your play style depends on what type of deck they are playing. But essentially, what you need to play is Lumiere and Peter Pan on turn 2 and 3. Then from turn 4, just depends on the situation, you should utilize your play style and play it first. I'm not sure your Star Championship settings. However, if that is a BO2, you really need to play first. Otherwise, all the results you will get is a draw. Finally, I got first place in the store champs. This will be my last attempt in New Zealand store set champs for decades, because I'm going back to Japan and play more Lorcana in Japanese. Hope I can see some of you in Japan's Grand Prix. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Lorcana content. Hope you guys like this video, and good luck with your store championship.